What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez. I'm joined by my friend Matt Llewellyn. Matt, how you doing?
Hey, I'm trying to stay cool before the summer heat hits.
I hear you, man. It's getting there. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the 49ers wide receiver room and more specifically, Dante Pettis and if he's the odd man out. Matt, talk it to me. Is Dante Pettis the writing on the wall for him this season?
It's getting close. That second round draft capital will only get you so far. And, he needs to come out with a fire in his belly and he needs to compete, instead of, and people love to get on him on Twitter, hey, you're not working out. Why are you showing this other stuff, this and this and that? And that's cool. Like, I'm on his side. Live your life, enjoy life, do what you want to do, but you got to show up on Sundays. And, last season, not so much, man. It was pretty bad. I remember, 2 touchdowns for him? I think he had 2. He had 1 against Arizona. He had 1 against Pittsburgh. I mean, and the Pittsburgh one was great. It won the game. But, you're talking about a guy that had all the promise in the world. But there is a mentality problem there that's not going to be in somebody like Deebo Samuel. That's not going to be in somebody like Brandon Ayuk. That's not going to be somebody, in somebody like Jalen Hurd. Even Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor can't stay healthy. But when he is healthy, I mean, he's out there and he's playing hard. Man, they're just going to run out of room. You forget about people like Travis Benjamin, who's on the team, and things like that. There are so many receivers here. You're talking about losing a guy like Richie James, who brought a ton of energy, and Richie James might be gone. Dante's living off of his draft position right now, and if he comes into camp and doesn't perform that way, it's going to be another season riding the pine for him, and then he can, cat paw his way right out of San Francisco.
Oh, man. I love Dante Pettis. It's a shame how this kind of has turned out so far. I was extremely excited when they drafted him. Just reading all the reports, people were hyped about him. Some even had them as their top receiver in that class.
And rightfully so. He has all the physical tools. He just has a between the ears problem that he cannot figure out.
Yeah, 100%. And, just looking back on it, that second half of his rookie year, he turned it on. Whatever he needed to do to get it together, he got it together. Mentally, physically, everything was put together, and it was a finished product on the field. You could see he was putting on clinics on offense, shaking defenders out of their skates, juking guys into the end zone, catching, deep. That I don't think that was last season, but it was his rookie season. That back of the end zone catch against Minnesota before Jimmy got injured. Oh, that was one of the most beautiful catches I think I've ever seen. And Dante Pettis has an immense potential. It's just a matter of putting it together. That's what's so unfortunate about the situation. He like you said, he's been living off his draft capital, and that fire's slowly burning down. That flame's diminishing, very quickly. So the 49ers aren't, keeping it a secret. Look what they did this year. They went and got Brandon Ayuk. Look what they did last year. They went and got Deebo Samuel. They're saying, Dante, we want to work with you, but you got to work with us. We're building this offense. We're surrounding you with other weapons so that you're not being double teamed, triple teamed, whatever the case may be, and you still can't kind of get it done. So it's like, what's the case here? Matt, you touched on it being more of a mental issue than anything. Mm-hmm. With younger guys, sometimes it takes a little bit of adjustment to get to the NFL and then, to kind of get comfortable playing in there. It seemed like he got comfortable and then he took a step back. Is that something that you've seen before or something that is common?
You see it sometimes, and you hope he bounces back. You see guys that have a promising rookie year and then all of a sudden, maybe it's not that great the next year. I mean, perfect example of a sophomore slump is Baker Mayfield. Great rookie year, struggled a little bit this year. But the difference is I see fight in Baker Mayfield. What I don't see is Dante Pettis willing to put forth the effort and the fight to kind of overcome that mental hurdle. He seems to pack it in, and, you can't pack it in the NFL. In the NFL, it's either step up or step aside because there's somebody waiting to take your job. And they've shown, this regime in John and Kyle, they've shown, hey, we need wide receivers. And we may have drafted you with a second round pick, but guess what? You're not getting it done. So the next year, what do? we're going to get another second rounder because, Pierre Garçon didn't step up. We had to get rid of him. Now we need somebody to fill that role. You didn't step up. Emmanuel Sanders left. Brandon Ayuk, next man up. It's one of those situations where you're going to quickly find yourself out of a job unless you're willing to fight for your position. You have to fight, scratch, claw for everything that you get, not just in the NFL, but in life. And, you can coast through. And again, it's one of those situations where you see it. Immensely talented people who had an easy time in high school and in college. He's the all-time leader in kick returns and touchdowns in college football. That just shows that he was that much better than college athletes. But this is an entirely different breed. Hard work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. And right now it appears that Dante Pettis isn't willing to put in the work to become the best version of himself that the 49ers need and that he owes to himself.
Yeah, I love that quote. Hard work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's exactly what's happening here, unfortunately. When I spoke with Kyle Posey of Niners Nation a few weeks ago, he was telling me that the kind of running joke in training camp was if there's any sort of contact that's about to happen, Dante's going to shy away from that pass. And unfortunately, I think we've seen that in the NFL. We've seen that in games. He's shy away from contact, whatever the case may be. He hears footsteps and he doesn't, fight for the ball. Perfect example of what to do. I'm thinking of Debo finishing through that pass against Arizona where he was being mauled and he somehow still caught that ball. Look, that's not the expectation, but the effort level, it should be the expectation. You want to see guys fighting, giving it their all, going out there and being a dog. We've constantly been saying you want your guys to have that dog mentality. Dante's a cat. I mean, that's just unfortunately how it is, how it's been. Now, Matt, the 49ers currently, looking at their roster here, they have Trent Taylor coming back from injury, Deebo Samuel returning, Richie James, Jalen Hurd also coming back from injury, Kendrick Bourne. They signed Travis Benjamin, and then they also have guys like Sean Poindexter, Chris Thompson, Chris Finke. My apologies if I'm pronouncing that correctly. How likely is it that he actually is the odd man out?
Again, he's still living off that draft capital, and I think that there's enough of a cap hit from his signing bonus, from his second round signing bonus, that it's going to be, I think his dead cap is like $2 million, but that's enough to maybe keep him on the roster. He's just going to be, again, buried down that depth chart. And listen, we do talk about dogs, and we talk about, you want to see that dog. In Dante's case, we don't even need to see a big dog. We need to see, even a little dog will suffice, and there have been finesse receivers in the NFL before, guys that kind of alligator arm when contact is coming. And, you kind of accept that in some of those guys and you work to their strength, which I know that Kyle tries to do. The biggest thing about Dante is once something bad happens, it's like dropping a pebble down a mountain. It just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger. And he has a confidence problem. If you can get him out of his own head, maybe every now and again, he's going to have that, oh God, I don't want to take this hit. So, he doesn't catch the pass or whatever. But then at other times, you're going to see that beautiful footwork that breaks a defender down, and he's able to run that crisp route, and then maybe he gets, 12 yards on a 3rd and 10, and gets down before contact. You don't need him to be, not everybody's going to be Deebo Samuel, who was a running back playing wide receiver, essentially. I mean, Deebo's a different type of dog. There's not too many of him where he's running to contact instead of, away from contact, or even just, incidental contact. But yeah, just a little more fight, stop getting down on yourself when bad things happen, because bad things happen to everybody. But again, take a look at Jimmy G for an example. I mean, and people talk about Jimmy G and this and this and that, but this is one of the things that makes Jimmy G so special and why he is the franchise quarterback for the 49ers. Short memory. Yeah, something bad happened. Oh, okay, he had an interception. The Pittsburgh game, perfect example. He had 2 tipped interceptions in the first half, but he still came back and won the game. He's still going to try to fit that ball in there. It's again, things happen all the time. There's plays that are going to be out of your control. but you have to have a short memory because the NFL has a short memory as far as game situation. That play's done and over with. You got to move on. So if he can do that, there could be some hope of salvaging him. But as it stands right now, man, he's awfully close to getting out of town.
I think what was most telling was him not dressing on the Super Bowl, the biggest game in their entire career, biggest game since, Shanahan and Lynch have been with the 49ers. And, your second round pick from a year ago isn't even dressed. It's like, that's got to be telling. And we've known Kyle Shanahan can kind of hold a grudge. Once you get in that doghouse, it's like he locks that door and throws away the key. We saw it with Pettis. We saw it with Breida for a bit with his fumbling issue.
in Miami.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point. So I would imagine if Dante was also an undrafted free agent, he would likely be in Philly.
He would have been gone by now.
Exactly. So,
and there's no guarantee they don't move him before training camp.
There's no guarantee at all.
All it takes is a team to lose a wide receiver, and then John Lynch picks up the phone. Hey, I got this former second round pick that you can have for cheap. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll take him. And then Dante Pettis is gone. He needs to show some fight. Otherwise, he's going to be out of town. There's no question about that. This is his last year in San Francisco unless he makes something happen.
And, we certainly hope he does because he's shown he has
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, he's got physical, mental. He could, when he puts it together, he's a finished product out there on the field, and he's absolutely lethal. Him paired with Debo, Brandon Ayuk, if that pans out, Trent Taylor and Jalen Hurts, if they come back healthy, and a George Kittle in the middle, this offense just went from running 200 yards a game to passing 400 yards a game. So, it's going to be something to see. Hopefully it all pans out, but that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Our handles are below on the screen, and make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Go ahead and click the bell for notifications. We're bringing you 49ers content all the time.
Thanks, guys.
Much love to everybody, and go Niners.